Now, switching gears, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has been busy trying to jumpstart Middle East peace talks, but a group of young Israeli and Palestinian musicians known as Heartbeat is already building trust and unity through music.
Yeah, and I actually had the chance to sit down with VOA's Julie Taboh, who caught up with the Jerusalem-based social movement as it wrapped up its American tour. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of Julie's report to start.
Since 2007, Heartbeat has been bringing Palestinian and Israeli high school students and young adults together to talk, listen, and make music. The songs they write weave traditional and modern Eastern and Western styles.
Okay, Julie, so we want to talk to you today about this group that you profiled. Tell us about Heartbeat.
Well, Heartbeat is a very inspiring program. It's basically made up of Israeli and Palestinian youth musicians. They're based in Israel, and the whole idea of the group is to come together and use the universal language of music to build awareness and to help one another understand each other's culture, each other's language, with the understanding and the hope that they can bring down these barriers between Jews and Arabs.
You did this report on the group when they came to Washington. What brought them here?
Well, they were on tour, and they culminated the tour in Washington because they are part of an initiative with the International Fund for Israeli-Palestinian Peace. They want to introduce legislation to basically have $50 million go towards grassroots initiatives, grassroots programs, people-to-people diplomacy, so that their belief is you have to start from the ground up and build this people-to-people diplomacy and dialogue and understanding among people, starting with young people, but not necessarily limited to just young people, so that it can start at the grassroots level and build up rather than from the top down.
Now, you mentioned The Wall, which is a direct reference to their signature song, this group's signature song. Tell us about how that reflects their central message.
Well, Guy Geffen, who's one of the musicians in the band right now in the group, he talks about this song called The Wall, which to them is very symbolic, not only the physical wall that separates the West Bank with Israel, but also as psychological wall, as people who have to look at this physical wall, this partition that's between the two people. He says, what are children thinking when they see that wall? It's basically psychological. It's basically putting up prejudices. It's building on those prejudices and building this wall within yourselves, as well as physically separating you from other people. And that's wrong.
Now, who are the people that are part of this group, and what struck you about them? You got a chance to meet them and spend time with them.
Absolutely. They were so inspiring. Aaron Schneer, who's the founder and also a musician in the group, his whole idea was music has always been universally a language that everyone can relate to. It breaks down barriers. I mean, universally, all over the world, we hear of initiatives where people of all creeds and colors and backgrounds and religions come together and play music, and all of a sudden all the politics of it just melt away. And their idea was to bring Jews and Arabs from literally both sides of the wall and help them understand one another and to play music together, and within the framework of creating harmony in music, understanding each other, that breeds peace and harmony and understanding and tolerance.
Now, what message do you hope is distributed among our viewers when they watch this piece?
You know, throughout history, of course, we've always had people, we've had spiritual leaders in our own history, with Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. We've had poets, we've had musicians. I mean, John Lennon said, I may be a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And he was right to believe that what Aaron Schneer and his group and his program are trying to get the message out there, that sometimes even in the media itself, there's so much emphasis on the minority of people who don't want peace, who don't understand tolerance. And he is using this as a way to amplify the voices of those who are the silent majority. The majority of people, he says, want peace, want tolerance, want peaceful resolution in the Middle East. And I truly believe that if this initiative can go through and they can get funding for it and the support from all over the world, not just in the Middle East area, and they see America as playing a leadership role in that, And they're hoping that that message will get through and that more people will come together who are silent right now, who will be given the voice, and through this group, they will have this voice to bring that message through their music of hope and tolerance and peace in the Middle East.
Always inspiring, isn't it, Imran, to
Yeah.
see young people come together for something like that?
It's amazing.
Yeah, great story. Our thanks, as always, to VOA's Julie Taboh for that.